Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Time Capsule. I am not Tippy. I'm Frozen Flagum, but I'm here, to showcase. We have 2001. We just saw an awesome run of Jack and Daxter, and we're going to be seeing Batman Vengeance coming up next. Before we jump into that, just want to say that GQX will be live from TwitchCon October 20th through the 22nd. It's going to be taking place on the Games Done Quick stage, as well as streamed live from our Twitch channel. Do ! GDQX Twitch chat to find out more information and check out the schedule. I'm gonna be there. Super excited to see anyone who will be sure to come by our booth if you're coming to TwitchCon. But yeah, it's just about time for us to get into Batman Vengeance with MTG Joe D. How's it going?
Going good, Court. Happy to be here. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. This has been a great night of Hotfix so far, and I'm excited to see this run.
Yeah, that was a sick Jack and Daxter run. I like that a lot.
But yeah, tell me about this run, and then we can get into it whenever you're ready.
Sure. Yeah. So my name's Joe. This is one of my favorite games of all time. I think it's super special because if people are familiar with Batman the Animated Series or the New Adventures of Batman and Robin, this is pulled from that, and it's got like the entire voice cast from the show almost. So we'll hear Mark Hamill, Kevin Conroy, Tara Strong, all those awesome voices. And then there's a lot of really cool animated cutscenes, but we will be skipping them in New Game Plus because we like to go fast. Up until recently, we weren't able to skip some of the cutscenes, but someone just figured out how to make that work. So fingers crossed, we'll be able to go through that. So we're skipping a lot of the plot. I'll try to fill in the plot as we go. And if you or chat have any questions, just let me know. Got to get a couple seconds in here before we can do a countdown.
All right. Sweet. I'm excited to see. It's always great to see new strats get developed. So that's great.
Yeah. All right, and I'm ready to do a countdown if everyone else is
ahead.
Good. All right, so 3, 2, 1, and we are off. What we missed in the beginning here is there is a scream in the night. Batman is all dramatic on a skyscraper, and he's decided to investigate. It's just a lot of hopping for this beginning part. Nothing dangerous here. You can take damage from the steam, but we recently found out that you can't die at all on this level. So it's cool. A little bit of training wheels that we just try to hop through as quickly as possible. And as we come to the gate, we skip a cutscene here where we see a poor lady is tied up on the ground next to a bomb, acid, very scary stuff. So we've got to get her away from that. That's what Batman does.
Absolutely.
And then we're about to have one of the coolest credit sequences. Batman is an extra cool guy. Instead of just walking away from explosions, he's going to slide away.
This is neat. I do love I do love doing the credits like this. I'm a fan.
Yeah, it's super cinematic, super awesome.
I love it.
We do a bunch of mashing here. Quick little cutscene where Joker has left a note, and he's threatening to kidnap Mary's son and ransom him off. And so we go back to the Batcave, we give Batgirl all that information, and have her do all the hard detective work while we go to the gym and learn how to play the game.
Nice.
I know Batman's supposed to be the world's greatest detective, but there is a pretty big theme here that Barbara's doing all the actual hard work. So Alfred tries talking to us, we ignore him because we're rude. We've got to pick up a couple of items. And here we're going to get to test out our batarangs, which is classic. We get a lot of Batman's classic gadgets from the show. And we have terrible aim today. And then you get to do some classic combat training. I'm sure this is very effective. He just punches a post for a while. I haven't seen this in any martial arts dojos, but you never know, right? And then to introduce what they tried to do for like a stealth mechanic here, it's going to have us try to get past a laser with the world's largest hitbox.
Oh boy. Yeah, a little bit.
We've been trying to figure out a way to get through it. Theoretically, it's possible to do it without stealthing, but no one's managed it yet. So we breeze through that and come to one of the most important skills of the game, which is flinging ourselves off of objects and trying to catch people who are falling. So we're practicing on a dummy here, and this will be important later. Batman loves flinging himself off stuff. So mash through a couple more cutscenes, and then it's going to send us to the rooftops. Batgirl found some information. Looks like Mary is about to be kidnapped, so we're trying to get through the rooftops as quickly as possible to her apartment and see if we can intervene. Get some really cool classic tunes there while people shoot at us.
This game looks pretty good for a GameCube game, not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, it's super impressive. It had some of the animators from the animated series, like, helping out and working on the animations. We see Mary get carried out of her apartment and through a doorway. And here, again, we would have seen one of Joker's goons carry her through that hallway. I don't know how he is getting her through all the rooftops this quick. Maybe some sort of Joker goon teleportation. But we have
It's always funny when it's like we're speed running through the game, yet they're beating us to all these places.
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense.
We get to do a little short hop there. We always used to try to glide around that maze part. And then a friend of mine named Rusty in the Batman Vengeance Discord realized you could just do a short hop there, so we like to call that the Rusty hop, affectionately. It's way easier than trying to control the glide. That's the thing most people complain about with this game, is the controllers are really, really pretty janky. Some more sliding. I don't know how Batman's boots put up with this. Alfred's got to be pretty cranky fixing that every day, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
In the first combat of the game, not with a big post, we're trying not to knock him down like that. Ideally, you don't knock him down until he's been knocked out. There we go. Handcuff him. And then we go to another cutscene where Mary's like, oh, he took my son Toby, and she gives us a little pocket knife with his name on it. We go back to the Batcave to talk with Barbara some more. Something's suspicious, Batman thinks. She finds out that Mary and Toby don't have any ID that she can find, no information on the primitive internet. So we're going to investigate what might be going on there. That's pretty bad RNG for where that one guy is, but maybe we'll slide through no problem now. Gotta do some bataranging. Those bullets are really annoying. There we go. And yep, we can sneak through there with no problem. Practicing a lot of conflict avoidance here. I know normally Batman would probably be trying to knock heads, but speedrun Batman's a little bit different. Doing a lot of jumping over guys' heads. Sometimes those little pom-poms on their beanies will trap us like that. There we go. Not sure how that works. They must be armor pom-poms, maybe? I don't know. And we're going to come up here on our first confrontation with the Joker, where one of the first really fun tricks of the run comes up. There's supposed to be a bunch of cycles of this fight with the Wrecking Ball, but if we're tricky, we might be able to cut it down here. No, I'm missing completely. I'm a little bat nervous. We got close.
Oh, that was.
So now our hope is try to catch him on this thing, on his swing back here. And still cut down a couple of the cycles here. There we go. Yeah, so we hammer him with batarangs. He throws the kid, so Batman throws himself off. Surprisingly, this kid looks exactly like our flour sack. And then there's a big cutscene where the flour sack blows up, and we find out that Mary was Harley Quinn all along, Toby was fake, and this has been a giant setup.
What? I can't believe this.
All right, this is the hardest fight here. Skip that. Hands-free, psychic. Just kidding, it's a cutscene. That kills on stream. Just kidding. My Twitch chat is really tired of that joke, actually. That was just for them.
Listen, you got to do it for the no one here has heard this, surely. You got it. It's fresh.
And so we fight Joker, and he throws himself into oblivion. Harley Quinn is brokenhearted. She throws herself after him, so we have to save her. We don't want Harley fall into her doom. After this, there's a cutscene where she swears off crime. She says she's done without her pudding. She walks away. Batman looks very dramatic. And we get a call about Mr. Freeze is causing some trouble. With a bunch of cutscenes we have to mash through. Which, if you ever get a chance to play this game, they're really fun to watch if you like the original cartoons.
Absolutely.
And Mr. Freeze causing trouble involves a lot of ice. And somehow Batman can just punch through giant blocks of ice. Never really figured that one out. Reinforced gloves, maybe? This is a really cool series of levels if you do have time to explore it. There's lots of like hidden goodies in the ice, and Freeze's hench persons are pretty cool. They got little ice guns, and I think they're probably the most difficult like hench people to deal with in the game because of said ice guns. But, you know, hopefully we try to open the door there and just avoid them. Making this jump on ice is trickier than it looks because it's very slippery. Yeah, much like
this does look tricky. I mean, you got to dodge the bullets and you got to be doing this platforming, and this looks rough.
Oh my gosh! Normally we are. All right, I'm gonna have to.
Come on, Batman! I believe in you.
Stop with the ice gun here. There it is. Okay. If we're lucky, that hench person at the bottom has shot their friend at the top here. No, all right. They're still there, but we should be able to just get up the ladder. Nope. They knew that we were running on Hotfix tonight.
Exactly. That's always how it goes. The runs are aware. They're self-aware. It's a problem.
But yeah, so we get through them, and we're going to try to quickly jump up onto a platform here so we can catch a cycle. Normally, if you're playing through the any % run of this, you have to get a bunch of keys and other items, which would be one of them's at the far end here. But you get a Start New Game Plus with those keys, so we're just going to pick up some nets, which are going to be really handy in a second. And get to avoid all of the knocking the poor guards out of the ice and getting their keys. We just leave them behind, which is a little rude. But it's for the sake of going fast. Alright, so our goal here is to try to get these hench folks in the nets. They are really good at dodging them. Let's see if we can get the third. Yes, okay. They like to just roll all kinds of different ways. Mr. Freeze has kidnapped a scientist called Isaac Evers, who is also voiced by Mark Hamill. He does the Joker and Isaac. We do a little bat wiggle here. We got to break out of the ice and try to go save the scientist. I love his little, like, wah! And so Mr. Freeze has taken Isaac Evers to his helicopter. And we get to do one of the most frustrating vehicle levels I think I've ever played. But you're just chasing the helicopter, trying to do as much damage as you can without crashing into the buildings and, you know, causing more property damage than you should. I can't even imagine being one of the folks in Gotham City who has to deal with this on a nightly basis.
Oh, I know. It's like, hey, I'm just living here, and now you're going to destroy some of my property. There's just ice on my walls now. Yeah. Like, you just flooded my whole apartment.
Right, I really hope they have good renter's insurance.
What the heck? Yeah. The whole city needs it.
For a long time, we thought there's a cutscene after this that wasn't skippable, and we thought that you had to die early on in this level to trigger it, which wasn't working for me, and it was only working for one of our runners, who, well, there we go, we died anyway, so extra good luck there. But we found out that there's another way where you just have to have watched the cutscene already, and then you can skip it. So that saved us a lot of grief. But
oh, nice.
Yeah, shout out to Ratton and Agari, who have been doing a lot of testing on that. We thought it was the PAL-only version could skip for a long time, which was a bummer, because I usually run, on NTSC or whatever. So it was a relief. It was a relief finding out that just about anyone on any version of this game can do all the skips. Speaking of, if anyone is really curious about this game and wants to get in the run, you can get the Discord link from the speedrun.com page, and we'd love to help you get started. We allow emulators, so you can run it in Dolphin, which makes it a lot more accessible. It's kind of hard to track down the disc sometimes. So trying to do a little bat plane Frogger here. We're really close to getting the shield down, which is nice. It makes the final confrontation go a little bit faster.
This is quite a long section of this flying bit.
It takes forever. This is the part that like really stopped me as a kid when I first started playing this game. I could never get past it. But thankfully, you know, practicing the speed run for hundreds and hundreds of hours, you get better at it. Alright, shield's gone, so we just try to... Even though there's a hostage in this helicopter, we blow it up. I'm not sure the logic there. You see him parachute out, and then there's a cutscene where Batman jumps and catches it. And if the skip is going well, we won't watch the big conversation with him. Yes, nice, okay. First skip down. They have a big conversation with the scientist where he's like, no, Bruce Wayne funded my research. It's okay, I've got the best security. Not knowing, of course, Batman is Bruce Wayne, and he did no such thing.
All right, I'm inside.
So we're very suspicious, so we go to his lab to investigate because, you know, world's greatest detective, there's something afoot. We try to trigger our free look here. It delays this little Batgirl message, lets us get to the computer. We're going to do a little puzzle section here with crazy glowing tubes. I think this is what they thought the internet looked like. Thankfully, it's always the same solution, so we don't have to try to predict anything or manipulate any RNG. Just look at colorful internet tubes. And try not to click too many times. That's always my downfall. I'm so used to mashing with a speedrun.
I feel that when you have to be like...
It's got to be precise.
Controlled about it.
All right, one more series of those. The most complicated and scary glowing red one. I'm kind of glad the internet doesn't look like this. As someone who works in web design for the day job, that would be hard on my eyes after a while. All right, perfect. So we get through the puzzles. There's about to be a giant explosion that we skip through. We're coming down to a section that if you have like photosensitivity, I'd look away for a couple of minutes. There's some flashing lights, but we'll get through it real quick. So we skip through that. And we're coming up on the first invincibility glitch try here. Let's see if we can do it. Nice, first try. So in this game, if you're taking constant damage from something like that frozen air coming out of their steam, whatever it is, or a flamethrower or anything like that, if you are doing your like cape shield at just the exact second that your life runs out, you enter an invincible state where enemies will still try to attack you, but you don't take any damage, you don't get pulled into fight animations. It's pretty awesome. And we have to get that health pack there for some reason, because if we don't, the game will soft lock during the Mr. Freeze fight, which is a bummer.
That is frustrating.
As far as I know, the invincibility skip was found, or invincibility glitch there was found by someone named JMan12 on YouTube, who I think has the first recorded run of this game. So it was very cool of them to teach that to me. I heard something. All the goons in here have really funny dialogue if you take the time to listen. We skip most of it, unfortunately. And here we are with our big confrontation with Mr. Freeze. Instead of doing a big, like, punch-out, drag-out, we have to try to drop these on his head. And also avoid him building up too much of that ice around our feet, because when we are in the invincibility state, it can cause the game to get real cranky. So, kind of just doing a bunch of spinning around, taunting him. This is probably the hardest part of the run for me. I don't know why. I always seem to get bad Victor RNG. Come on, buddy.
And it's a marathon run, so you know the game is just going to give you bad luck. That's how it gotta be.
Ideally, we're dropping him right on his head. Like, he'll take a little damage if it tags his feet there. There we go. But it's just kind of a big game of cat and mouse. He does all kinds of really dramatic voice lines, trying to scare you. Amazing voice actor. I always thought he was so scary in the show when I was a kid. Alright, we just got to get a couple more. And ideally, also, we don't want him to grab us. It is really funny, because if you get grabbed when you're in an invincible state, it just kind of flings you around while you're standing still, making a funny face. I think we just need one more here. This isn't too bad. Oh, come on, Victor. He knows. He knows somehow every time which one I've attached a bomb to, and he...
He could be cheating, I'm just saying.
Yeah, you know. He can see the code. There we go, that does it. Alright, if everything goes well, we skip another giant cutscene. There's a fun one where he's like, Batman, save me, and we have to freeze him with his own gun. And, yeah, looks like we did it. Perfect. There's a big cutscene here that introduces Poison Ivy. She gets, like a mysterious vial of radioactive goo-looking stuff mailed to her. And then we see her cackling, doing experiments on a bunny. It's real creepy. Batgirl goes to investigate and encounters a real scary villain, all wrapped up like a mummy. And now we get a call from her while she's trapped on the train. So we're going to investigate that. You get to hear some ridiculous screams that are supposed to be Barbara. But I think she's just hamming it up because she wants Bruce to actually do his job for once. This train is also interesting. Like, they designed it so that you would go through each car, and there's a whole series of things we have to pull to unlock all of the different doors. We found it's just a lot quicker to go on top of the train cars if you can. We zap these guys. They're like weird plant monsters. They're one of the worst ones to get tagged by, because Batman can't like fight them with his fists or anything. You have to electrocute them. It's really hard to get away from them. So, kind of an annoying little sequence here.
Mm-hmm. The camera in this seems a bit rough in terms of like going up and down the parts.
Yeah, it is pretty awful. You get used to it if you know, play it over and over and over again. But I remember when I first picked this up used from a Hollywood Video in my town. I could not figure it out as a kid. Alright, so we get to that final lever. We skip all of the different puzzling and lever figuring out. It just shuts it all down there. And we go see what Barbara's up to. And we skip it, but yeah, there's a big guy in a trench coat, covered in bandages, super spooky. He jumps from the train after Batman shows up, and we are in the next awesome vehicle level of the game, which is full of some really early QuickTime event mechanics, which are not very forgiving. But basically, we're just missing it. Like I said, they're not very forgiving. I don't know how a big, scary villain covered in bandages figured out how to drive a car. But I guess that's not the questions the greatest detective wants to answer. To get a perfect score on this level, you have to not crash into any civilian cars or hit them with your machine gun. And I've only ever done it once. It's not set up to be very friendly. I try, though. I feel bad for all the citizens of Gotham City that have to put up with this. But ideally, you just do 2 cycles with this car. You can see in the bottom right, it's got another one of those kind of weird shield indicators. Once that red disappears, that means we're good to go. And we just have to hit the QuickTime events there. So one more loop through scenic Gotham City. I'm curious, what was your favorite like show as a kid growing up?
That's a good question. I watched a good amount of Sailor Moon.
Nice,
As a Sailor
same.
Moon fan.
Yeah.
Good amount of Pokemon for sure. Those are like the cartoons that come to mind.
Heck yeah, classic.
So yeah, those are probably my favorites. I'm curious what people's in chats are as well.
Oh yeah, I
What
can't
did
see
y'all
chat,
watch?
but chat, chime in.
Yeah, I'll let you know what people
Perfect.
are chatting saying. But also, people are really loving this run. So
Nice.
thanks for putting that on. And everyone in the chat, please give MTG Joe D a follow. Please, it's in the chat. Just go do it if you want to see some more awesome gameplay like this. This has been so much fun.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, so we crash his car with a smoke grenade. We find an apple with a really freaky little mutant monster in it. And we're like, oh no, what is Poison Ivy up to? That doesn't seem good. So, and then we get a call about Poison Ivy threatening politicians. And mash through a bunch more cutscenes. Here we go. This is probably one of my favorite series of levels. Poison Ivy is just one of my favorite villains. And then you get to go through a weird factory with tons of weird plant monsters and mushrooms and weird plant tentacles. It's all creepy. I've always thought Poison Ivy was one of the more empathetic villains, depending on who wrote her, of course. But, you know, she's just trying to stop people from hurting plants, you know? It's one of the more noble villain pursuits, I think. Getting caught by those nasty plant root things, super annoying. They don't really like to let you go. Now we're on to the cool mushroom room, which I'm not sure why she would have done this, but we get to do some platforming on really unstable, slippery mushrooms. Very scenic. There we go. And we see there, that cutscene we skipped is the same mystery person in a trench coat that we've been following running through here. It's trying to build us up to a big reveal where we fight him, and in the the any % run we do have to fight him. But this is New Game Plus, so we're gonna skip it. Spoiler alert, it turns out he's a giant plant monster that looks straight out of Looney Tunes. Real strange character. It's kind of fun to see, but we don't have time for that. Try not to look at any of the scary monsters in that one. Man, we get to do some kind of cool platforming on... I don't know if this is nuclear waste or what, or how the plants exist in there, but falling in that sucks for Batman. It's an instant die. There's a cutscene with the mayor pacing back and forth with a briefcase that we would find out later is full of money. If we interacted with him, that would trigger the boss fight, but we've got... Bruce, it's not time for stealth. We got the key, so we just ignore him. The mayor can handle it himself. He's an adult.
Yeah, 100%. Come on. Batman does so much for already.
And we get a little twisty staircase.
This is cute.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Different like areas in this game and different methods of gameplay and stuff. It's pretty interesting. It's pretty varied.
Yeah, it really kind of sets the stage for the popular like Arkham games that we got later. So here, dang, we're gonna be fighting the giant plant monster that's been sending out those roots. With, like, the laser earlier had a really huge hitbox. Their hitboxes are not large, and it is a pain. But you got to do a couple hits on the tentacles. There we go. Perfect. And then we hurt the poor thing with steam and drop it into the big vat. I feel kind of bad for it. It's kind of cute in a weird plant monster sort of way.
You've only scratched the bark. You'll never reach the roots. Nature is a hydra.
Nature is a hydra.
Get away from there.
You can do a whole second session with the monster, but it's easier just to blow everything up. We miss a really cool cutscene where the mayor gets the cure and then everything explodes in a bunch of fiery goodness. Oh, nice. This series of cutscenes takes like 2 minutes. It's a whole bunch of story where we're like, we go meet with Harley Quinn, interview her about what Poison Ivy was doing. She's being a little suspicious, sends us to a place called the Gas Works, which is full of Joker's goons, even though he is supposed to be dead at this point in the game. We get to deal with a bunch of creepy jack-in-the-boxes. Sorry if anyone out there hates creepy clowns. And we're going to try to do that invincibility glitch for a second time off the flamethrower here. So let's see if we can nail it.
All right.
Come on. Nope. All right.
Oh,
this one
man.
usually takes a couple of tries.
For sure. It looks tricky.
I'm sure, you know, in the task, we do have a task now that Agaria just made where, you know, they hit it on the exact perfect frame, but my poor human fingers have kind of a hard time hitting. But it is so much easier to go through this level if you're invincible, because there is a ton of people with machine guns, so it's worth putting the time in. There we go. Perfect. Second try. Very nice. Pretty soon, we're hopefully going to have figured out how to skip almost all of this. Agari figured out doing the tasks that there's a way you can skip this whole section of trying to turn off these sewer pipe things. It's really tricky, though. You have to, like, jump off of a Joker Jack-in-the-Box across a big chasm that has a death plane in it. We're working on it. We're working on trying to get it into a run. Trying to take as many shortcuts as we can here. A lot of these metal panels fall out from under you, which is tricky. And during these, like, weird cutscenes where you're twisting it, Batman can move, but all of his movement gets really messed up and he goes a lot of weird ways. So I have to remind myself not to anxiously mash the A button or you'll end up in sewage, which kills you because it's nasty sewage, I guess. Skipping most of this with our trusty back grapple gun here. If you're ever playing through this for the story, down there in that bottom right, you kind of saw a tube with a bunch of boxes for a minute. And you can hop along those and get one of the secret envelopes, get a cool cutscene. But again, you know, New Game Plus, we're trying to go as fast as possible, so we miss all the fun little Easter eggs.
Are there other categories of the game that people like to run, or is any percent, you know, the big one?
Any percent, well, New Game Plus is the one that most people like to run because it's quicker. Any percent right now is still
New
they
Game,
can
sorry.
allocate it. Oh, no worries, yeah. We had someone propose a cheat percent where they entered all of the cheat codes, because this is a classic GameCube game, there's plenty of cheat codes. So that was fun, we have that posted. And we've theorized like a 100% run, where you have to get every cheat envelope, every secret, perfect 10s on everything, but no one has gotten the courage to do that one yet.
Got it.
So here we can move, perfect. We can move during those cutscenes and try to get our back grapple out early, which will cut conversations with Batgirl, which, while she is awesome, we're trying to go fast. And we're aligning those tubes to match the colors, so I guess that unlocks some sort of gas wheel we can spin. Science, something. It is really tricky because you can't see what you're doing, and Batman tries to go into stealth. Yeah, he'll be hiding in the corner. That's okay. A lot of fun grappling through the tubes. I always wonder what the bad guys would be thinking here when they're just pumping him full of bullets and he's not being phased with the invincibility glitch on. It's got to be a little disconcerting. At least he didn't go stealth there. Oh, come on, Bruce. I spoke too soon. That jump, sometimes you can make that jump and he'll grab on. Sometimes he decides he doesn't want to, so we gotta grapple. The first in many of these weird wheel sequences. Sometimes you're trying to match the green, sometimes you're trying to match the red. The game never really tells you. We get a little moment where we have to watch the pipes turn. There we go, and a big cutscene where this guy kicks down the door and starts firing at you. We pull a lever and we rescue Mr. Isaac Evers. And he's going to admit that he was in on the whole thing. He was being bribed by someone, yada, yada. We take him to the police, where a very dramatic cutscene happens, where a batarang comes out of nowhere, smacks Jim Gordon in the face, and the GCPD blames us, even though there's no possible way it could have been Batman. He had a bad guy in his hands. So now we're running away from the entire Gotham Police Department, who are really mad that we threw a batarang at their boss. They say those are stun rounds. It doesn't sound like it to me, but, you know. And this whole time we're being pursued by a helicopter that has giant helicopter tasers on it. I don't know where they got the budget for that, but, you know, it's Gotham. Not a ton of shortcuts you can do through this area. It's kind of just optimized, like avoiding all of the guys with their shotguns and getting to the back grapple points as quick as possible. Which at least looks really cool. I think it looks cool when Batman's zipping around the city skyline like that. That police officer's bullets can tag you as you're trying to hop on that middle one, which is really annoying. We get to do another bat slide. And then some bat ladder climbing. A lot of ladder climbing in this level. And since we're in a hurry, Batman has decided to just punch the electrical boxes that open doors. Sometimes it shocks you, sometimes it doesn't. It's very consistent. Very cinematic scene here where you
this is
run
cute.
through a sky bridge. Yeah.
I like this.
You can tell, like, the game's kind of janky and the controls are weird, but you can tell the people who made it really loved the material they were adapting, which I think lends to a lot of its charm. This helicopter is the bane of our existence. We're going to take an intentional death in a little bit to reset its pathing. You can get the invincibility glitch on these little, like, air conditioner steam things. Unfortunately, it'll soft lock the fight with the helicopter later. And for a long time we thought, like, oh, if we could find a health pack, maybe that would fix it, like the Mr. Freeze fight. But it doesn't. We have yet to figure out a way to be invincible and fight the helicopter. And unfortunately, there is no way to skip riding this elevator up and down. So, water break. Chat, I hope you are all doing well tonight. Glad I get to show this to you, spend some time with you.
This has been a blast.
All right, and if you don't get off the elevator in time, it will just smush you into the ceiling, which is, you don't want to be a bat pancake. And the game kind of tries to encourage you to go through this big, windy path of weird, empty rooms at the top of the building, but we can just sneak through the back and fling ourselves into oblivion here, miraculously catch onto the edge. I thought that was so cool when I saw someone do that in a run. I was like, no way, you can skip that. And here we do our intentional death. And it'll reset the pathing of the helicopter, which saves us a lot of potential time waste here in a second, because we have to climb up a bunch of other ladders. And if you don't reset the pathing, the helicopter will just shoot you off the ladders, which is both annoying, it slows you down, and sucks up a lot of your health when you're going to fight the helicopter here in a minute. That intentional death pathing reset was discovered by Ratton, who was the second person to really start running this game. Super cool runner. It's RATN if you ever want to check him out. He does a lot of Minority Report for the GameCube, which is an even more broken game than this. A lot of really interesting Gotham architecture here. I'm not sure why they put ladders everywhere. Super useful for Batman, though.
Yeah, I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
Just keep giving me nice things to make my speedrun go faster.
All right, so we avoided the helicopter for the most part. And unfortunately, we do have to have our reckoning coming up here in a second. The helicopter has like some predetermined paths that we haven't figured out a way to like really predict the RNG there. But we're basically, it's another hit it with your explosives and try to disable their weapons they're shooting at you. And you got to be careful to not run off the edge. I've done that a million times, trying to focus on their weapons and end up restarting the whole thing. Let's see. And it'll do that, which you just saw, where you'll obviously hit your explosive on it, and then nothing happens. There, we got one. Again, the hitboxes are so strange for some of these.
It really is.
Perfect. So we disable all of their tasers, and they just decide, well, we have missiles. Let's shoot missiles at a man in a weird bodysuit. Oh! Okay. That was really lucky. Sometimes those missiles will shoot you right off the roof, but we're doing great.
Yeah, this seems to be going well, at least from my perspective.
It can be done a little bit quicker, but we've got...
Sure.
Depending on the RNG, because you can't really hit it when it's on the level with you for some reason. Perfect. There we go. That wasn't bad. Sometimes that can go on forever. It's super frustrating. And then Batman is thrown off the roof, presumably to his death. He lands on the ground. Batgirl picks him up, takes him back. They nurse him to health. And he decides, Harley Quinn might have been lying to me. I should go investigate. But he doesn't go as Batman or Bruce Wayne. We go as cool guy with a scar. We have to put in a code here. There's a lot of really funny clues on statues that give you the numbers. But also, if you play this over and over again, you just memorize it. So we're now in the Funny Bones warehouse. We don't have our armor, our cape, or many of our gadgets. We have a very dapper suit, though, so... at least we look good. Gonna do some fun box platforming while being chased by Freaky Jack in the Boxes. There we go. And I know I've said this probably a couple times during this run, oh, this puzzle sequence is so annoying. This is probably the most annoying one. There's a series of levers we have to pull. And I think the designer's intent was you're supposed to go through and disable all of the bad guys and then do the series of levers that are on a timer. But, this is a speedrun. We don't want to waste time. Oh, okay, that might be okay. The timers are really tight, too. So you see that light turn green? We made it. Nice.
Who's there? You're through.
Luckily, Batman doesn't need his fancy cape to jump. And back to the other side of the room. Whoever designed this weird... I guess it's the Funny Bones warehouse. It's where they make all the pranks and gizmos, so it makes sense that it would be convoluted. Oh, no. Perfect. Okay, sometimes that guy will tag you and you have to do the fight. But in that cabinet, we find the pocket knife from earlier that no one saw because we skipped the cutscene. This says Toby's name on it, so now we know the Joker is not really dead. Surprise, surprise. I'm sure everyone in chat is shocked.
Gasp.
And then we find out that he's going to try to light all of Gotham on fire with a blimp.
All right. Well, yeah. I think we got to do something about that.
We skip the cutscene confrontation with him. He sicks some masked individuals on us with flamethrowers, and we're going to try the third invincibility glitch of the run. We want to try to get him to both hit us at the same time. Maybe. No, okay. These ones with the fire can be really complicated. But again, it makes the rest of the level go so much quicker if you don't have to deal with getting hit by bullets. Because you're not Superman. Alright. Trying to get this glitch when you're running any percent will again soft lock the game. We haven't figured out a way around that. There's another spot you can do it if you're running that category though, which I'll point out later. Oh, Bruce, come on, man. Third time's the charm, babe? Alright. I'm feeling good about this one. I said I was feeling good. I was so focused on the health bar, I completely forgot to crouch. And so what I said earlier, fourth time is the charm. I was mistaken.
I'm a believer. Marathon luck, you know?
Oh, yeah. Hey, there we go. Fourth time's the charm.
All right.
And so, these guys take forever to fight through traditional means, so Batman just lets them burn themselves to death? Or maybe just to being knocked out. There you go.
This looks very silly.
It's ridiculous. Nice.
Batgirl.
This is a recent find that you can keep moving during the Batgirl talk there, which is very fun. More rooftops, more gates. We go to a cool cutscene where the Joker and Harley Quinn and a giant clown with rocket launchers on his shoulders threaten us. And we just decide to pick up some batarangs and get away from that, because, you know, rocket launchers.
Okay, where are you?
Some funny dialogue from that. Where are you? I'm standing right in front of you, man. More of these glorious wheels. Very important wheels, though, because if we didn't turn these, all of the gas would come out and blow up Gotham City, which we don't want.
Just the little things of how the city is structured.
Yeah.
Probably not the best.
More ladders, or hiding against the wall. It's my eternal chagrin. I really wish that was a little bit quicker, or a little bit less sensitive. He loves to go into stealth mode. So now, since we're invisible, we get to just walk up on rocket launcher guy. If you were doing any percent and you wanted to do an invincibility glitch before dealing with this, you can get it off his flamethrowers, no problem. Or if you're really fancy and have really good aim, you can run around and try to blow up the rockets without just standing in the way. Harley Quinn's up in the upper right, just screaming at us the whole time, super funny. You can see her duck there. We blow the guy up, which I always feel kind of bad about. You know, it's just doing his job, right? And now we are on to the Joker's blimp, which he is outfitted with really painful lasers. Which again, I don't know where they get the budget for these things, but you know, what respectable supervillain doesn't have lasers that hurt a lot? And instead of dealing with the laser grid, we just try to run through it. Batman, you want your batarangs? There we go. Perfect. In New Game Plus, we don't even fight the Joker. We just run past him. Gotham's in trouble. We don't have time for you, clown man. We get here, and he tells us a really fun riddle where you have to figure out how to mix the colored gas to neutralize everything.
But too much mixing and everyone dies.
Surprise, we got to make green and purple. It's the Joker's favorite colors, I guess. So he tells you the riddle, and you get that cool, like, colored bar behind it to, like, clue you in if you weren't listening. Very nice of the developers to give us that. I've tried everything I can think of to get past this sequence. Probably not skippable. If anyone figures it out, though, I will send you money for a pizza. Or food of choice. Doesn't have to be a
All
pizza.
right, that's a pretty good bounty. I mean, who doesn't like pizza?
All right, perfect. So we get the colors mixed. It takes just a little bit of time. And now we're going to come out to face the Joker, and he decides, hey, instead of getting caught, I'm going to throw myself out of the blimp. Because, you know, my death is how I win against Batman. We do a little cycle here where I will be shouting time in like 3 hits on him. So that'll be cool. We're almost done. Oh no, I raced him too much there. There we go. Batman can actually go faster than the Joker here, which is annoying. Try to catch up with him. He throws bombs and shoots while he's falling. All right, so when we catch him, that'll be time. And time. All right.
Nice run.
Thank you very much. There we go. Wasn't bad. And then it goes into the big, long end cutscene that we can't skip. It's just more credits. He flies through in his jet, and then we get to go visit Arkham. We see all of the villains we've defeated locked back up, and the Joker is at the end with a little Batman doll hanging from his ceiling. It's very creepy. But yeah, we're done. Thank you all so much. Court, thank you for being here for this.
This is a blast.
I enjoyed chatting with you. Chat, thank you so much. Want to do a couple shout-outs. Again, shout out to the Batman Vengeance Speedrunning Discord. If you're interested in learning how to do this, definitely come join us. It's a really fresh run. New stuff's being found all the time. Got some people really studying it, which so exciting to me. I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/mtgjoed, sometimes on YouTube at youtube.com/mtgjoed, where I'm trying to build up a video essay channel. So if you like video essays, you can subscribe to that. Shout out to everyone in my Discord and all my friends who watched me learn this run. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you to GDQ and the Hotfix crew. It was so exciting to be here, and I hope everyone has a really good night.
Yeah, thank you so much, Joe, for showing this off. Thank you for all the GGs in chat, everyone who has been watching all night tonight. It has been a great time. So yeah, that is all for Time Capsule tonight. We will be back at the regularly scheduled time, 10 p.m. in 2 weeks with Tippy. I had a blast taking over, being a substitute showrunner today. I hope you all had a fun time with me. And we also have tomorrow a special fast-paced events showcase on Passion Project starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. So we have more hotfix every single day. Be sure to tune in for more speedruns, but stick around for the raid. We're gonna raid someone who's doing some more amazing speedruns, I'm sure. And see you again on hotfix real soon.
花よのにここで